welcome to the farm. Today I'm going to teach you how to plant lavender in a pot. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is we're going to prepare our pot for planting. So we are going to take some small stones. We're going to place those into our pot. This is going to help with drainage because lavender does not like having wet feet. So I'm going to pour these in. And I'm just going to make sure that they're evened out in the bottom here. And then now we can go ahead and start adding in our potting media and mixing that with sand to make a good, well-draining soil for our lavender. So we're going to get that done. So one thing too I want to mention was plant selection. So that is important because some lavender plants get a lot larger than other ones. So make sure you pick a variety that's more compact, that is going to stay just smaller, like 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet is the most ideal, just because these pots aren't going to have the space for the roots if they grow upwards of 3 feet wide. So we're going to do that, and this here is a variety that's going to stay smaller. Some example varieties would be Haycoat Blue, Munstead, Violet Intrigue, something like that. We have lots of those here at the farm, and we also have our wonderful ag staff who would love to help you pick out a plant that'll be perfect for your home. So I'm just going to keep mixing this soil so it gets a nice media to sand ratio. So I'm almost done with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start forming the soil to make a big hole that's twice as big as this gallon pot here that our lavender's in right now. And I'm going to add some limestone. That's a soil additive that raises the pH of our soil here. And you're going to take about 1 teaspoon, sprinkle that in the bottom, and mix it in really good along the sides and deeper where your lavender roots aren't going to be. You don't want direct root to limestone contact, just because that is going to burn the roots and eventually will kill your plant. So now I have my hole here again with my limestone mixed in. I'm going to take my plant out carefully out of this pot. You can squeeze the bottom, lift it, flip it over. Keep this soil here loose. Do not pack it down too much to compact the roots down. And we can go ahead and fill in the soil around the base of the plant. Pack it in a little firm, but not like crazy. And your plant will be ready to go. So now we're going to get some water and water it. Alright, now I have acquired some water, so we're going to give our plant a nice good drink here. That's going to reduce air pockets in the soil, and it's going to give a good root to water connection, I guess, for lack of a better word. And this is going to help reduce transplant shock, which will be fatal to the plant, so we need to make sure this is watered really good. And a really good test for watering is you take your finger, stick it in here, and see if it's wet. You can see that it is really wet down there. So one last thing is covering lavender. So here in northern Michigan, we cover our lavender for the first 3 to 5 years of life. Every variety that you plant in a pot is going to be an English variety. So those are hardier to our cold winters, so you make sure that you cover them if you're in a climate like ours, and if you're not, then you're lucky. So our intermediate varieties we cover every year here on the farm, but our intermediate varieties grow too big, so those are not as suitable for a pot. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about growing lavender. If you want to know more, check out our Growing Lavender and Flowers on the Farm academic workshops. Happy growing!